What is up, Course Heroes? This is your boy Amit, and today we are looking at one of my articles and how it kind of broke through and got up to 2,000 views in just 4 days with zero publicity from my end. So, this was all through Google search, and I'm going to show you how I did it and how I used AI to write an article about AI. So, without further ado, let's get started. So this is the article in question, and I took this article from OpenAI's website, openai.com/Sora, and this is OpenAI's new text to video generation model. By now, we are all used to the text to image generation model, and there are some softwares out there that have made good strides for the text to video model, but this one just looked bonkers. It's insane what you can do with this Sora model, and it's not generally available to public just yet. But I wanted to jump on the hype and kind of look at this article and see if I could just rewrite it, I should say, using AI. So let me go back to OpenAI's website and let's look at when this was published. So the article in question is this one right here. I put it on my Medium blog. I'm going to drop that link in the description so you can check out and read it at your own pace. And this article, you can see I launched it on February 16th. Sora itself was launched on February 15th to the public. So that's when OpenAI made the announcement. I jumped on it the next day, wrote the article, and you can see that it got on that same day, it got about 1,700 views. And then slowly it's tapering down. Next day was about 200 views, then 140, and then 111. So that's for the last 4 days. And I want to show you how I did this, how I wrote the article. I used an AI article writer to write this, but I gave that AI article writer some background. So that background came from Sora's own website. So this is the landing page from OpenAI. And if you head over to openai.com/Sora, I'll put that in the description as well. You'll be able to check this out. So instead of copying the entire text from this page and putting it in my AI article writer, I simply copied the URL of this article. So the URL was openai.com/Sora. So I simply copied that URL and pasted it in my AI article generator. Now, instead of walking you through what I did in the past, I think it might be better if I just walk you through a live example. So let's go head over to research from OpenAI and let's see what's some of their latest articles that we can maybe look at and try to blog after that. So I'm interested in Sora's research. So let's look at the research piece here and let's go look at their technical report. So this is the technical report and you can see this is quite large. There's lots of text here and lots of videos. And what I want to do here is copy this article URL and then let's write a brand new article so you can see how I did it and how you can replicate this in whatever you're doing. So instead of copying the text from the page, I'm simply copying the URL. And the article writer I'm using is ZimWriter. I did a review on ZimWriter. I'm going to link to that video. If you don't have ZimWriter, check it out. Amazing tool. You can see the results, right? The results are just mind blowing. So once you have your ZimWriter open, and I know the UI isn't the greatest or flashiest as some of the other AI writing tools, but this is the power of ZimWriter is under the hood and not what you see in the front end. So from here, what I want to do is I'm going to go to Penny Arcade, and in Penny Arcade, I can list up to 1,000 URLs, and you can see that right here, up to 1,000 URLs, as long as all of those combined are under 70,000 characters. So I'm simply going to note that one URL that I copied, and then from here, let's say we want to give our article about 6 to 7 subheadings. So I'm just going to say 7. And then from here, I'm going to also enable literary devices. I'm going to say write this in first person, and I'm going to enable some lists. I'm also going to enable tables and key takeaways. And if I wanted to use the original title, I would check this box. I'm going to leave that unchecked. And you could also ask ZimWriter to give you a mid-journey prompt for each and every heading. I'm not going to do that. Moving on to the next column here, I'm going to leave my FAQs to short answers. And for audience personality, here if I hover over the question mark, it says Google 12 brand archetypes. So you could do that as well. The next one is write in the style of. So if you like to use a specific style, you can mention it here. For example, I can say write in the style of a technical researcher, or I can say use auto style. And then I'm also going to say use automatic keywords. Let's use GPT-4 for this instead of 3.5. Now, when I change that, ZimWriter is going to go and make sure that my API key has access to the GPT-4 model. For featured image, I'm going to choose pixels. I'm going to leave my subheading images off, but you could choose every headline or every H2 or every other H2. Same thing, I'm not going to choose a model, but if I wanted to, I could use the one of these image models here. And I typically use the stability model, and it's dirt cheap. It's like 0.003 cents per image. After this, I don't want to use call to actions, so I'm going to leave that blank. And in the final column here, I'm going to leave all of this as is. And then I'm just simply going to say start Penny Arcade. And this is going to generate that same article, but using my own flair that I just put on there. And then we can proofread it, humanly edit it, and then publish it to Medium or whatever blogging platform you're using. But let's go ahead and see what that output looks like. While ZimWriter is writing this article, what we're going to do is head back over to my Medium blog so I can show you what that article output was. I had very minimal editing done to this. I read the article from start to finish and ran it through Grammarly, make sure there are no grammatical errors. But apart from that, the actual editing wasn't really that much. So here you can see I had, these are my key takeaways that ZimWriter wrote for me, so I just simply named them TLDR, and then these are all the TLDRs for my key takeaways. Then I also talked about some of the other stuff, and all of this was already on Sora's page. I didn't need to copy and paste it in my AI writer. ZimWriter just scraped the URL, worked its magic, and output that for me in a text document. And all the work that I had to do was copy and paste it into my blogging tool, which happens to be Medium for this specific blog. We can go through, you can see I didn't add any images. I did take some of these videos from OpenAI and simply embedded them here using Loom. So all those videos are in there. And then I made sure that my H2s are properly highlighted. And that was pretty much it. And then ZimWriter also generated FAQs for me. So I did put those FAQs in here and then also a conclusion. That was it. That's all I did. I almost feel like this is cheating and I shouldn't be able to do this, but these are the tools available at our disposal today. And while I've been talking about how I generated this article, how I published it, you will have noticed in the bottom right corner of my screen, ZimWriter is at work doing its thing. And I keep ZimWriter running pretty much every single night. It's BYOK, bring your own key. So you get an API key from OpenAI, you plug it into ZimWriter, and then each article can cost anywhere between 20 cents to a dollar, depending on which model you're using. So if you're using a GPT-4 model, your costs are going to be much higher. But if you're using 3.5 Turbo, your costs are going to be lower. I recently did a cost comparison between all four of the models and using ZimWriter. So I'm going to flash that screenshot right here. But before I do, here's our ZimWriter article. It has finished writing, and now I can publish this to my Medium blog and see if this gets any clicks. Before I do that, let's open that article and see how much it cost us to write that article and what's the content looking like. So here's that article rewritten, respun, whatever you want to call it, using ZimWriter. I got about 1400 words and it cost me 77 cents. If we were to compare that to the amount of clicks that I got, let's go back and look at the article that got the 2000 clicks to show you how much it cost me. So this is the article, and I used GPT 3.5 Turbo to write it. It cost me about 5 cents, right? Not even. And it was 1210 words. And that 5 cents translated to 2000 clicks. I would say that's a great ROI. If I can get another 2000 clicks spending 77 cents, I think that's an excellent ROI. We're not here discussing that. I'm just showing you the different costs between model 3.5 and model 4. I'm also going to show you a screenshot where I took the same article, ran it through the Penny Arcade using the different models, and I'll show you what that cost was. Before I get to that, let's look at this article. Now, it's not easy to read here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to convert this into a readable HTML format. Okay, here we go. I've uploaded it to Google Docs, and this is what it looks like. ZimWriter sent the command to OpenAI to not use that same headline. So now we have a new headline, and I can remove this and simply keep it to revolutionizing video generation with world simulation. And then we have the key takeaways that we had earlier as well. So I'm going to rename those to TLDR, and we can just go through the article. The good thing is I can use my Grammarly Chrome extension and fix any grammatical errors that the AI might have made. You can see it's a very comprehensive article. You can also notice here that we have a table of contents. So when I paste this in WordPress, if I was using WordPress, then this would be converted into a table of contents, which is great because I won't have to do anything. I simply copy this block, paste it over to WordPress, and Gutenberg blocks or whatever WordPress theme you're using will do its magic and convert this to a table. You can notice that you will notice that we also have text that is already bulleted and text that's already formatted with bold. So I don't have to do that, and it's really easy to read, well broken down. Now all I have to do is proofread it, add my images, and I'm off to the races. And then lastly, I had promised that I will share the cost for all different models. So I generated an article, took an article that was on CNN, ran it through ZimWriter's Penny Arcade, used the different GPT models. And what I'll do is I'll drop a Google Drive link in the description, which has that same article written all 4 different ways using different models. Everything else was the same. All the settings were the same. All I changed was the model that was used to write those articles. And you'll be able to compare apples to apples on what's the quality of that content. For the price, you can see the cheapest one was 3.5 Turbo, which is about 5 cents. And the most expensive was GPT-4, which was about 45 cents for that same article for 917 words. So I'll drop that link in the description, but that was my process. So again, the process from start to finish: spot the article that you want to write about, grab that URL, run it through ZimWriter, and I use the ZimWriter Penny Arcade functionality to run it through. From there, it'll output a text document. You take that text document, edit it, put your own flair on it, publish it to your blogging platform, and watch the clicks happen. Course heroes, that is how you can harness the power of AI to write articles, and I'm going to put all the links in the description, so please check them out. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button so you get notified next time I release a video. And until next time, keep creating.